Okay, folks, the other thing we talked about today in class was copying elements of the model, especially when working with round geometry, and, um, and to do that, making many copies and placing them. One easy way to do that is to use what's called an array. So if you click on this, notice that what this will do is notice the icon in the middle. This little white cube gets repeated and radiated around, copies around in a circle in that sort of formation. So this is a quick and easy tool to generate, copies of your model quickly. So first of all, what I have here is a cogwheel. Again, remember splines. I've manipulated the cogwheel form and then extruded it with the extrude tool to make this like column form. Now I'm thinking about making like a Greek temple kind of trophy, so is going to use these columns here. So I've made this, and the easiest thing to do is you just take your model, whatever you want, primitive, a model you've made, whatever, pop it into the array, make it a child, and notice what it does. It makes a copy, and it radiates it around the zero axis, right? So if we click on the array, here's what we have. We have a radius. In this case, I have 98 inches, right? And I can change this. I can make it go bigger. I can make it go smaller, depending on how I want. And the default is 7 copies. Now, what that means is you have 8 actual columns here, but it keeps the original and makes 7 copies of the original, right? So if you're confused there, just remember there is an extra one that's added in your scene. So, but you can change this. You can make it less or more as you go, and then of course you can change. You can mess with the models even when you have them in this sort of scene. So, for example, if I didn't like the way this looks, as long as I haven't made this editable yet, I could take my object and make it taller. Like let's say 150 instead of 100. So there you go. So before you make things editable, take the time to kind of manipulate things, look at them in different viewpoints, think about scale, proportion, etc. Okay, so that's the easy way to use array. You could take this then again, copy this, and go to my trophy cup window, paste this in. I might want to think about the position of this. Maybe I make a platform underneath and have this sort of radiated around. But again, it's an easy way that you can bring models into a scene. Now, let's go back for a second. One thing that may come into play, not that one, this one. One thing that may come into play is materials, right? So if I'm using a material, let's just make something quick and easy. Make this kind of a white material. Actually, maybe I want to give it a little bit of a texture. And I don't know. Let's see. That looks pretty good. So I don't know, some sort of texture. Anyway, if you bring the texture on to the array, it's going to colorize all of those objects, right? Make it look like sort of Greek columns. If you want to work with different colors for each one, then you need to make the object editable. All right. So once you've fixed on the form that you want, you can make this object editable. So click on the array, make it editable, and if you then open it up, what you'll see is there is these forms for each individual one. Okay, so I could take this and put it on that one. I can make a new material, make it red and put it on a different one, right? And so this gives you the opportunity to work with different materials for each individual model. Okay, so the array, it's pretty helpful, especially if you're working with round geometry. Allows you to make copies pretty quickly. You can change the radius, places it around the zero axis, so it's pretty easy to move and manipulate. So check it out. It might be helpful.